Hi, I'm Kelly Barham, and welcome to the January edition of Life Path. Well, we all made it through the holidays, and I hope it was with family, friends, and a joy-filled heart. But I also hope you listened to our advice in getting through the holidays in a healthy way. Maybe even healthier than expected. But now you're facing the new year. It's 2012. A great year to advance your health goals for you and your family. And if you've been paying attention to our show throughout the past year, you know your goals can be achieved with exercise, good nutrition, and your chiropractic care. You are on your way of living a healthy life. And of course, this month's show, as the ones in our past and the future, will help you do just that. So please pay close attention, and should any questions arise, don't be afraid to turn to your chiropractor. He or she can be a great source of additional information that can help you in making the right decisions when it comes to your health. And don't let the information end there. Think of all the people in your life. Help them get on the path that you've been fortunate enough to get on yourself. What a special way to start the year. And as you've learned on our last month's show, you too can be a chiropractic lifesaver. All it takes is for you to speak up. So go tell people about the benefits of chiropractic care and what your chiropractor can do for them. With that being said, let us increase your understanding of true health. Let us get on with the show. Now, to start the year off right, we have invited once again Chef Micah Ries of Mike's Bistro to our show. Who can resist his delicious cooking? The thing is, it's healthy too. So if one of your New Year's resolutions was to start eating right, let Chef Mike help you along. His dishes are full of fresh, healthy ingredients and simple enough to create at home. No culinary degrees required. Then let's talk about exercise. Was that part of your resolution as well? Well, Dr. Ralph Andrade of Andrade Chiropractic will sit down with us to talk about why you are never too old to stay active and why it is so important. Did you know, for example, that staying active can actually keep you younger and healthier with age? Really? Is that news to you? I hope it's going to be more of a reminder of why you're putting in all that effort. But if you're really looking to start the year off right and get fit, maybe even lose a few pounds, we have fitness trainer Samuel Colby from Gridiron Express Training who can help you with that. But before you lace up your shoes, stay for one special guest. This month, President of Parker University and author of The Power of Self-Healing, Dr. Fabrizio Mancini is here. Earlier, I got the honor of speaking with him about his latest book and a chance to glimpse at some of the pages. So I know his story today will be special. It'll give you meaning to all the good and healthy habits that you have. And if you're not well, it will show you how you can self-heal. But first, have you ever asked your chiropractor why they have chosen to be one? What keeps them going? What is their passion? Well, next, we'll join Dr. Tom King of King Family Chiropractic. He'll tell us why he is so passionate about chiropractic and what keeps him going. It's a heartfelt, emotional story I know you'll appreciate. So let's join him now so he can share his chiropractic story and how an adjustment affected the life of his own child. Dr. King?
I'd like to share with you a little bit of the reasons why chiropractors have passion for the jobs that they do, why I have my passion. I'm sure your chiropractor has similar stories. Mine starts off when I was young. I was really little. I've had several injuries. I've had different things that have injured my spine, and that's why I got into chiropractic. But some of the bigger reasons why I got in, why I stay in, why I'm so excited about it, are things that happen later on in life. When this was several years ago, when I had freshly gotten out of chiropractic school, my wife and I were expecting our second child. And everything was going beautiful. We had gone to the hospital, we were expecting him on a certain day, and unfortunately things kind of went wrong. There were some mistakes made. There was a real emergency that had happened. My wife had a ruptured uterus, and as you know, or maybe you don't know, it's quite a dangerous thing. It puts both the mother and the child's life in jeopardy. There was an emergency call. They ran into the emergency room. They put my wife under immediately, and I was standing out in the waiting room, panicked, trying to pray for the best, hope for good things to happen. She went in screaming, and the screaming silenced. I knew they had put her under. And it was a few moments later when the pediatrician came out of that waiting room, or out of the emergency room, and they had one of the incubators for infants, and in the incubator was my son. There was no blanket on him, there was no breathing apparatus, but he was purple. And the pediatrician told me, I said, well, how's he doing? He says, get a good look at him. He's not going to make it through the night. And of course, I was very worried. I wanted to follow him in. They took him into the NICU. And they said, give us some time. Let us see what we can do before you go and visit your son. I waited around to make sure my wife was okay. It was several minutes later. Things were fine. And I tried to make my way into the infant care. And when I did, I saw my son, and they had him on every monitor, all the breathing apparatus. They were keeping him alive. And I talked to the nurse and said, I want to see my son. And she says, no, he's in jeopardy. We got to take care of him right now. And she basically escorted me out of the NICU for the children. A few moments later, I noticed that there was a change in the nursing staff. There was a different nurse for my son, so I went back in. And at this point, some of my training started to kick in. And I went to the nurse and I said, I'd like to see my son. She says, he's in a lot of trouble. And I said, please, I'd like to see my son. And she says, okay. And basically it was a small room where he was at. And the nurse said, you know, I'm not even going to pay attention. She just turned her back to me. And again, the chiropractic in me kicked in. And I knew my son was, for a short time, was in the birth canal. And when my wife had a ruptured uterus, he was ejected from that and brought up into her stomach. There was a lot of different things that had happened to him. He had gone without oxygen for 15 minutes. And so I went to him, and he was laying there. And we do things very, very different for children. But I reached in, and just one little point, one little touch, one little adjustment on a brand newborn. Automatically he started breathing on his own. All the monitors went off. He was doing phenomenal. He pinked up instead of being purple. And every nurse on that floor came into that little room and saw what was going on. And there were tears in everyone's eyes. And they asked me, what did you do? And I said, I'm a chiropractor. And they said, can you do it for the rest of the children? And I said, I wish I could, but the laws don't allow it. My son's alive today. They said he would never leave the hospital. At first they said he wouldn't live. Then they said he wouldn't leave the hospital. He wouldn't eat. He wouldn't do this. He wouldn't do that. And he's beating all of that. He goes and visits doctors. Now he has some disability because there was some brain damage, but he is every bit as normal as we could expect. And when he visits some of these doctors, they say, well, how many times has he been sick? How many times has he been in the hospital for this or for that and the other? And we say, he hasn't been. And there's one reason. It's because he had childhood chiropractic. At the very beginning of life, the full expression of his potential was diminished because of an accident. But we restored as much as he could, and that life is expressing itself as best he could. He's a very popular little kid. People love him, and he loves to make people happy. And that whole experience of his life would not have been expressed if it wasn't for that little adjustment. There are lots of stories like this. We have had children that have come in with constipation problems as early as 4 years old, where these problems have been eliminated. We have children with bedwetting. We've had some that have had asthma, where I've actually seen a child where she was on her way to the hospital to have medication delivered to her. With one adjustment, she started breathing completely normal again. The biggest thing that you need to realize is that when you step into the office, you visit with your chiropractor, there is an inside potential within you that needs to be released. You may have had years of injuries. You may be bringing in your infants, and they may have just a few. A little bit of interference that prevents that inside life, the inside energy, that life force that makes your body work to its fullest potential. And those things can be released through chiropractic. It's very gentle for children, and it's done differently for various different ages. There are all kinds of techniques, all kinds of ways to do this. But the most brilliant thing about chiropractic is it works. You will be better. You will be stronger. You will be more alert. All kinds of wonders will wait for you, whether you're new again to chiropractic or whether you've been here for a while. Great life changes are always there for you. It's important that you get checked regularly, visit your chiropractor, and even ask him about his special story, what keeps his passion alive, why he continues to do exactly what he does day in, day out to make your life better, to make your experiences better, to make your family better. And as you are better, your community's better, and the world becomes a better place, all because you decided to have a little bit of change in your life, a little bit more energy, a little bit more happiness brought to you and to your family.
Thank you, Dr. King, for sharing such an empowering story. I'm sure now you can see why today he is so passionate, not only about chiropractic, but also about adjusting children. And as Dr. King mentioned, he's not the only one with a story like that. So ask your doctor what his or her passion for chiropractic is. Why did they become a chiropractor? You may even be surprised by some of the miraculous stories of chiropractic and healing that are out there. With this story, however, I also want to remind you of the health benefits of bringing your children to see your chiropractor. If you remember, Dr. King mentioned that he has seen many childhood health conditions eliminated through chiropractic care. So please, don't leave your kids at home. If they're not visibly sick, also remember, subluxations are invisible too. If they are healthy, know that regular chiropractic care is a great way to maximize your children's potential. And who doesn't want that? Now, let's maximize yours in the kitchen. This is what I've been waiting for. Chef Mike is back. I don't know what he's making for us today, but whatever it is, I know it's going to be delicious. My mouth is actually watering just thinking about it. And I think he's ready to go too. So let me join him now. As I just said, we're here with Chef Mike Ries, and we're going to learn to cook something healthy and very quick, because people are always worried about it takes too long to cook or whatever, and you're saying this doesn't take that long and it's healthy.
Absolutely.
Yes, and we're cooking what today? Shrimp?
Today we're going to be cooking shrimps pomodoro.
Oh,
pomodoro is the word for tomato in Italian.
Great.
So
everything I like.
we have our pan. We're going to...
So we heat the pan first. So
yeah, not too, yes, but not too high.
Okay.
Because we need, while the pan is heating, we need to have diced tomatoes. And
I might never slice that nicely.
And diced tomatoes, we have shrimps, and we have garlic.
Oh,
and here I have 1.5 medium-sized tomatoes.
Great.
And the garlic, in that instance, I do not crush, I slice it.
Okay.
Slicing the garlic, it gives you a less of an intense garlic flavor. And it looks nice in the dish because you can see the garlic chips.
But and again, you're saying it's not as intense. You still get this, all the good things from garlic.
You
right?
get all the qualities of the garlic, but I'm talking about the flavor because by crushing the garlic, you're releasing a lot of the oils, of the volatile oils of the garlic. So therefore, it becomes stronger, the taste.
Great.
Like this is more mild. And also we're going to need to have some fresh basil here.
Okay.
And
again, mine never turns out that nice.
yeah, we're going to cut it.
Technical
term is a chiffonade, in strips.
Smells wonderful.
And do not over chop the basil because it's going to turn black on you.
It'll turn black if you over chop it?
Yes. It loses its color.
Okay.
So now first we're going to cook the shrimp. We're going to put about let's say, tablespoon of olive oil in there.
And your shrimp, I mean, do you buy frozen, or is it better to have frozen or fresh?
Well, in general, there are not too many fresh shrimps available.
Here. Not in this area.
Right, unless you live in, let's say, LA or Santa Barbara has great shrimps over there. So I salt and pepper the shrimps, and then I'm going to put them on, let's put it on a low.
Yeah, put it on low. And you defrosted these, I mean, what's the best way to defrost
them? The best way of defrosting is putting it in your refrigerator, and it might take overnight, and they'll defrost in a natural way without losing their juices.
Okay, and that's good.
Or you can, alternatively, you can defrost them under running tap water.
Running tap water.
Running,
not in the water.
No, not stagnant water, but running tap water.
Why is that?
because then retains the temperature of the water, and then the shrimps, they defrost evenly.
Okay.
Because if you leave them in a stagnant water, what you end up having have bacteria developing because there is
I didn't know
no
that.
renewal, yeah, and it's not healthy. And now what we need
It
is
doesn't
just
take
to...
very long with these, does it?
No, the shrimps, it's very important not to overcook them because they become rubbery.
Right.
And here we're just searing them a little bit because they're going to cook again later when we put them, reintroduce them back to the to the pan. Okay.
And all this stuff is organic. We got the tomatoes, the garlic.
Garlic, basil. We have canned tomatoes and crushed tomatoes, which are organic also.
Yep, that's what I
We
buy.
have sun-dried tomatoes.
Oh, good stuff.
So now I'm going to take this out because I don't want them to overcook.
Oh, that smells awesome.
And then I'm going to introduce the garlic.
Garlic.
And I have sliced garlic. And garlic is to taste. I happen to like garlic, so I put...
That's why I like
I
your
always
place.
tend to put more.
That's why I like eating your place. A lot of garlic.
Right.
So what are we doing here? We're just...
So we're just sauteing the garlic, not to release the flavors.
Okay. And how long do you normally cook that? I mean,
Well, you look at the color of the garlic. It starts to become a little golden, not too golden.
just a little bit, right?
Then you went too far, yeah, and then becomes bitter. Yeah, just like this, we are done.
My own private class. This is awesome.
This is ready. We just put the tomato in there.
It's simple.
Right. Then we
I would
put
do that and go all over the place.
then
Practice, right? Lots of practice.
we put some salt.
The smells are incredible.
We introduce the sun-dried tomatoes.
Sun-dried tomatoes.
Right, so they can absorb some of the juices.
Okay. So if I had tomatoes, how do you sun-dry tomatoes, or do you buy them that way?
You buy them that way, or if you want, you can take the tomatoes, cut them in half, take out the seeds from inside, salt them, let them sit there to release their water, the waters, then you can put them under the sun.
Is that simple? Sounds easy. I'd
or you
buy
can
them.
dry them in your oven. You turn your oven at 200 degrees. And okay, now that's what we needed. So you need now the high heat, and that's what we did because you don't want to soften the tomatoes too much and let them release
all their flavors.
Right. So now that's what we like, to warm the tomatoes and cook them a little bit, not too much. And at that point we introduce the crushed tomatoes, which you can buy them in your favorite supermarket.
Yeah, I bought them. That's
organic,
what I get. Organic tomatoes and crushed tomatoes, I get them. Organics come a long way.
Right.
Easier to get, I think.
Right. And this dish is very, now we introduce the shrimp. Just want the shrimps to warm up because they're almost cooked.
My mouth is
And
watering
this dish you can substitute chicken, you can substitute fish,
Okay.
anything protein that you like.
Chicken or the fish, cook them in the pan the same way.
Same
Get it
way,
hot first.
same way. And then you can also do a vegetarian dish without putting any chicken, fish, or
That'd be
what
good.
have you. And you can add sliced Kalamata olives. You can add artichokes. You can, at the end, you can crumble some feta cheese over it or some goat cheese.
So
This is a very versatile.
So I get to eat this today, right? Because I'm getting very hungry looking at this.
Now, we introduce the pasta.
And you cooked the pasta before.
The pasta this time it was cooked before, and
for the show.
Right, and by introducing it, it's going to warm up in here with the sauce.
That's simple.
Yes.
What's the best way to cook pasta? I mean, quick
The
way.
pasta, there's no quick way. There's only one way. You put water with salt,
okay,
and you boil it.
No oil.
No, you don't need oil. If you're using a good
All right,
pasta,
honey, are you listening to this?
Oil.
You always want to put oil in.
No, because what happens when you put oil in your pasta, the oil coats the pasta, and then the sauce doesn't stick to the pasta.
Slides off.
Right.
I told her that. She doesn't listen. And this is white pasta. You can get brown pasta and organic pasta.
Right, and now we're going to set up our plate.
Different types of pasta.
Right, and we have the shrimps.
Ooh, lovely. Love it. And again, you're making this inviting.
Well, as we said, you know, you always eat with your eyes first. So if it looks good, chances are you're going to like it better.
I never thought of it that way.
Yeah. And then without squishing, you're just piling it up nicely like a pyramid.
This is incredible. All right, hold on, let me get my fork. Let's see this.
And there you have it. Just
wow, we'll shake it down. What do you got there? Look at this. Now that does look delicious.
Thank you.
It's organic, all natural shrimp. They're frozen, can't get them here that easily, so get them frozen. And again, the pasta, you can have brown pasta, white pasta, and they have organic out there, so it looks too good to eat. But yes, I'll give it a shot.
You can use any type of pasta.
Good. Yeah, I'm gonna cut, do I cut the shrimp or do you care?
No,
I didn't want to eat the tail. I didn't want to eat the tail.
Just touch it from the tail. And
oh, well, this is true. This was great. Thank you, Chef.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Chef Mike, wonderful. Mike's Bistro, and we're going back again someday for lunch, I'm quite sure. This is good. I think the whole crew's going to eat this. We're all going to pile in, have a good time. That's good. Very good. That was so tasty and so easy to make. What a great dish to make for your family and friends. In either case, I'm sure you'll impress them both. So give it a try. Just don't get it on your shirt. Best thing of all, it was full of fresh, natural ingredients. And that's so good for you. Also remember, there are many alternatives to plain old white flour pasta. Look around and try a few. You may be pleasantly surprised by the taste and, of course, the health benefits. You see, white flour pasta ultimately turns to sugar, and we really don't need more of that in our diets. So it's worth the added time looking into and trying other more healthier pastas like whole wheat, gluten-free, brown rice, just to name a few. You can even serve a dish like this over spiralized vegetables or even spaghetti squash. There are always alternatives in healthy cooking, so experiment. Now, after all that eating, don't forget to get out there and exercise. Just because it's a healthy meal doesn't mean it doesn't add up in calories. And added calories add up pounds. So it's important, even with a healthy, nutritious diet, to stay active and fit. And that goes for anybody at any age. And that is exactly what Dr. Ralph Andrade is here to share with us. So let me join him now as we can all learn why staying active is so important as we age. Staying active, whether you're aging or just generally, you need to stay active. People get the wrong idea about getting older. So today, we're here with Dr. Ralph Andrade. We're going to talk about getting active and staying active and as we age. I mean, we're always told, well, some of us have been told, well, you're getting up there, you're 40, you got to slow down. Well, maybe slow down, but you need to stay active.
It doesn't have to, I mean, it doesn't have to be we slow down.
Okay.
I mean, it's, there's no reason why as you get older that you can't still go out, you can't still enjoy the outdoors. Whatever you enjoy doing.
Oh,
is it golfing? Is it gardening? Is it bowling? Is it whatever it is?
Skiing, water skiing.
Correct.
Hey.
Okay, do it. Just do it.
Just do it. Hey, there's some, you know, we can make money with that. Yeah. Oh, it's been used. Yeah, it's been used. But I mean, I played football for 9 years. Of course, I didn't go to college playing it, too small, but there's some, that's a brutal sport. You can't do that in your 50s, of course, but I mean, we have to look at it objectively, I guess. Correct. But what are the other obstacles, I guess, people run into as we age? I think some people just give up. Partly because we're told, well, again, you're getting older.
Right, well, as we get older, sometimes it has to do, if you played football.
Sure.
Did you have any knee injuries?
No.
Okay, you got lucky.
Yes.
Okay, so as you get older, okay, if you've had like an injury that didn't quite heal right, that may hinder you from, if you have a knee injury, maybe that keeps you from exercising, running. You might have to adapt. Okay, you might have to, but stay active.
Right.
You might have to run on a treadmill versus the road, or you might, maybe you can't play racquetball 5 days a week, but maybe you can do a couple days a week. Maybe you might have to, you know, ride a cart instead of walking golf. Whatever it is, you might have to change it. But some people, as they get older, they do give up. They think, well, you know, maybe they're a little overweight. Okay, maybe they have some joint problems or some pain somewhere. Or maybe there's other things. Maybe they, you know, they live at home alone. Maybe they lose a loved one, or you know what I'm saying, they're by themselves. So there's other components to keep them active. But my job with the patient, what I tell my patients in my office is, look, you have a choice. You can be active, okay? You can, you know, we take care of patients into their 90s. And there's so many that are in their mid-80s that still bowl 2 or 3 days a week.
Good.
They play golf once or twice a week. They play tennis. They're active. They're just, they choose to be involved. And that's what I want people to realize. You can be involved.
We've talked about this before in other shows. It's a choice. This lifestyle is a choice. The chiropractic lifestyle is a choice.
Yep.
Staying active as we get older is a choice if you don't choose it. And you mentioned some people just don't choose it. I have a relative who didn't. My father, he just gave up and he passed away, and I don't think he should have, because he should have stayed active. And I have another relative who's active and older than my father now, and you would never know it.
Correct.
It's a choice. It is a choice. If you don't use it, you're going to lose it. Isn't that an old one?
That's
we
true.
talk about
Yeah,
all the time.
we've heard that before.
It's so true. You don't lose. You don't lose it.
If you don't use it, you
No,
lose it.
you lose it. And I think it's so true, especially as we age, because your body does age. Your body does age, but you got to take care of it.
Correct.
Back to what we were talking about before, choosing the right foods, choosing what you do, exercising. What other ideas do you have on? I mean, staying active.
Well, one of the things I tell the patients in my office is I say, look, your 30s, 40s, and 50s are going to dictate the 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Wow.
Okay, so that's a 60-year from, you know what I mean? So what you do when you're younger, how's your weight? Have you developed healthy habits? All right, if your weight is good, you get adjusted on a regular basis. So you've improved all that aspect of your life. That's going to determine what happens when we get 60, 70, and 80.
Sure.
Okay, it does. So we have to look. So it's never too late to start. Okay.
I was going to ask you
it's
that.
Never too late
you
to
can
start.
always reverse.
Correct.
Or revert back to, or not revert, whatever your lifestyle
The
is.
body
You can
wants
still
to be
change
healthy.
it. Right.
The
I
body
agree.
wants to be healthy.
Okay.
So start doing something. You know what? You may not be able to go out and run 5 miles, but maybe you can walk on a treadmill to start with. Or I have patients that have real bad knees. They start with the water. I have a patient who, at one time, he was almost 500 pounds.
Wow.
And he went in to the VA hospital, and he had something going on with his back. They wanted to do surgery. They said, you're going to die. You can't do that. And of course, me being the inquisitive one, I saw him at the gym. I said, well, you waited till you were like 492 pounds. What happened at 430?
Wow.
Something clicked in his head at that point. And now he's under 200. You should, this was like 7 or 8 years ago. He ran like 12 marathons last year. He went from from being on oxygen, a total, you wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't even recognize him. But he but he chose to. Something happened when that doctor said, we can't do surgery, he'll die. He had grandkids, whatever. Something said, look, enough's enough.
Wow.
Well,
so he made a commitment.
Correct.
And that's important too. You can sort of, okay, I need to make a change. Yeah, I'll get to it eventually. You've got to make a commitment.
But it is a commitment. He was disciplined. He told me it took him, I think, 13 months before he could walk a mile on a treadmill.
Wow.
A year of just, the first...
You still have this guy's information? This guy, this is amazing. This is a great guy is he into the chiropractic lifestyle as well?
Yep.
I love it.
He is now.
I love it.
It was, he added chiropractic to his, this was all,
Right.
I would like to say that it was because of, no, he added me after
It wasn't
all
you,
this.
darn.
It wasn't me, but he uses me. He had some diabetic problems. He's had, you know, loss of toe.
How's his diabetes now?
On no medication.
Love it. I
think it was 192 different medications he was on over the years. Now he's on 0.
Good.
So he's made that, again, this is an extreme example, but he made the choice. So whether or not it's walking, treadmill, if you got arthritic knees, in the pool, start somewhere. You have to start. The key is just starting.
Start. Make a choice.
And then I told, look, just push it a little bit each day, a little bit more. If you can do the treadmill, maybe incline and treadmill. If you go 5 minutes, go 10 minutes. Just change it around, mix it up. Try to push your body just a little bit because the body responds.
Your body's your instrument.
It loves to be pushed.
Yeah, I had a back injury years ago, and I was told I'd never be able to do this, never be able to do that, and you got to be careful, yada, 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 yada. I went to a chiropractor, and I started lifting weights again. I started working, actually exercising my back.
Correct.
And it's been great. People say, you did what? Well, they wanted to operate. There's no sense in it. You know, I believe, just like you're saying, spine manipulation. Your spine is the center of everything.
Adjusting.
Adjust it. Get it adjusted, you know?
Correct.
It just makes so much, to me, it makes so much sense.
It's one more tool for you.
Oh, yeah,
Okay?
definitely.
And
definitely.
And let's keep the weight under control. Let's get in some type of exercise program, whatever it is. Then you can start getting and staying active.
Well, it's taking people and changing their mindset and saying, look, back to what we were talking before. Yes, you're 50, you're 60, you're 70, 80, whatever it is. You know, just stay active. Choose a goal. What do you want to do? Do you want to live to be 100? I definitely going to live to be over 100. That's my goal. 150, whatever.
Chances are you are. The recent studies show chances are you're going to be 100. So what can you do now at 30?
Oh, right. There you go. Yeah, 30. Yeah, that's right.
What can you do now knowing that, hey, there's a good likelihood I'm going to live to 100? Prepare yourself. Physically, okay, what can you do now? Mentally, okay, work the mind as well. Just be prepared to do that, because nobody says that as we get older you have to stop enjoying life.
I agree.
It can be fun all the way to the end.
Totally agree. Dr. Ralph, I appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you, Kelly.
That's great to know. If you're aging, you just stay active. Don't give up.
Never give up.
You're not giving up, are you?
I ain't giving up.
We're going to keep going. Play a little golf. Just keep going.
Yep.
Well, if you're not living an active lifestyle already, I hope you now realize it's not too late. It not only is important to your health now, but also as you age. So think about it. How would you like to be as you get older? It really is in your hands. So once again, thank you, Dr. Andrade, for taking the time to share with us. But now, to help you get going on your commitment of living a more active lifestyle, we have fitness trainer Sam Colby with us. From his experience, he can tell you that there is a big difference in people that are in their 60s and 70s when they stay active. He has seen it in his clients. So today I think he has a special routine for you that can keep you active and fit. Exactly what Dr. Andrade talked about earlier. So let me get out of the way and bring on our fitness trainer, Sam, instead.
I'm going to show you a total body workout that anyone can do of all ages that will help you propel your fitness goals into the new year. This workout that I'm going to show you, it's only going to consist of one TheraBand that you can get from your chiropractor, any sporting store, and your own body weight. We're going to start with a push-up, and this push-up we're going to start with on the floor. You're going to bring it down here without your knees touching. This is a military push-up. You're going to bring your chest down to the ground and push straight up, engaging your stomach. Let's say this is too hard for me. I'm going to put my knees to the floor, and this is a modified push-up or a girly push-up. The next thing that we're going to do here is we're going to go for back rows. That's when I'm going to use my TheraBand. TheraBands are in different colors. With TheraBand, you can use yellow being the lightest, red being the medium, and then green being a little bit more resistance. But we're going to start with doing a back row. Now, the back row, one thing to remember is to really keep your hips aligned and keep your back nice and straight. You don't want to slouch forward and strain that back. If so, you'll have to go back to your chiropractor. You're going to bend forward like this, and all I want you to do is just pull your elbows up to your hips, just like this. So I'm here, looking forward, pulling my elbows up to my hips. And what we're doing is we're actually hitting your back muscles in between your shoulder blades. So just doing a couple of these, usually about 10 to 20 reps because we're using bands, or until you feel like your muscles are getting a nice workout. Our second exercise that we're going to do is we're going to do what they call a rear delt fly. The rear delts are the muscle groups right back here. And to exercise these, all you do is you step on your bands, arms out to the side, and you flap. So pull those up to the ceiling. And it's a little side view. You're forward, back, just like with the rows, and you're flapping. And I like to do these exercises until those muscles that you're targeting just really feel the heat and they fail. The next exercise we're going to do is we're going to go into a shoulder press, working the muscle group right here, which is our shoulder. And just like a house without bushes, a body without good shoulders doesn't look that good. So you're going to pull it straight up here, right to the ceiling. And again, just go to those shoulders, know that they had enough, and you want to push, push, push till you're burning them out. The following exercise that we're going to do is called a bicep curl. And the bicep is this muscle group right here. And all you're going to do is just pull the bands up to your shoulders. And so you're going to keep on pulling until the biceps fatigue out. And one big thing I always tell people as far as form goes is you want to pinch your shoulder blades back. I like to keep my head neutral as I curl. And this feels kind of easy for me, so what I would do is I would go until it didn't feel easy. So depending on where your strength level is at, go until you reach muscle failure. This next exercise we're going to do, it's going to hit your tricep muscles, the back part of the arm. No one likes to have that flabby arm, so in order to stop the flab, you got to tone up the arms. And the triceps, a huge muscle group that helps with that toning. This one here, you get into the same position that you're at with your row and with your rear delt fly, but this time you're going to fix your elbows back. And all you're going to do is just ski backwards. Just like that. And again, just go till you fail until you lose form, and then you're done with that one. Okay, so our next little exercise that we're going to do is for our legs. We call these squats. Take your feet about shoulder width, hip width, and have a nice athletic stance. You're going to pull the bands up to your shoulders, and you're going to squat, making sure you keep the knees behind the toes. So instead of bending forward with the knees, I always tell people bend back at the hips. So you're going to go nice and deep so that your knees hit a 90-degree angle. So here's a couple of examples of what a squat looks like. And this is what it looks like in the front. So I'm still keeping my knees behind those toes. And you see how I keep my head up towards the ceiling. That way you don't slouch forward and you keep a nice spine aligned. The next lower body exercise we're going to do, it's called a lunge back. I do them a little bit differently because I like to have a little bit of resistance as I lunge back. You're going to step back, keeping that knee behind the toe, and drop. Kind of drop it like it's hot. So you're going to go straight back, boom, and then up. Straight back, boom, and then up. Just like that. And you notice with my hands, I'm actually doing a little baby curl. Just making this exercise a little bit more dynamic, but it helps with coordination and balance. Okay, so for our next lower body exercise, we're going to be doing calf raises. You can do calf raises anywhere. Short people do calf raises all the time because you're always tippy-toeing. So you just tippy-toe until the backs of those legs just burn. So to the side view, you don't even need this for a calf raise. You're just tippy-toeing. If you have a step, I like to stand on the end of a step and drop my heel below the step and above. And this is me holding on to an imaginary rail. See that? Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is for our core. We're going to start with some sit-ups. And there's a couple of ways I'm going to show you how to work your stomach muscles. Keep that nice flat stomach for the new year. The first one is a traditional sit-up. Back here, coming all the way up. up here all the way up to the front. You're not pulling on the neck. You're just using those stomach muscles to pull that upper torso forward. Now let's say I'm one of the people that can't come all the way up. So if I can't come all the way up, I'll have a couple of helpers. One could be like a medicine ball or a TheraBand pad, and this can help me propel forward. Some people think it's cheating. I say it's a way to get up so that your muscles can get the full contraction of a sit-up as you come down. Another nice way to do a full setup is just sit this on the low part of the back. You can use like a bender ball or a stability ball or a mat and just come all the way up to the top. So you can see I'm still doing my nice full sit-ups. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is what we call a Superman. That works the muscles up and down your spine. Front ways, we're going to do a Superman by picking up our torso, down and up. It looks like I'm flying. This is why they call it the Superman. So I'm here, just straight up. Just rock those out until the muscles along the spine really feel that exercise. Okay, so our next exercise we're going to do for the core, then you're almost done. You're almost fit. So this right here is called a plank. You can do those on your forearms, or you can plank on your hands. If you take yoga, this is you've probably done a plank a million times. After the plank, we got something to kind of finish all of it off by incorporating a lot of those exercises that we did, and that's called a burpee. You're going to start with your hands down on the ground. You're going to jump back. See how I'm planking? Full push up. Then you're going to jump forward and then jump to the sky. So in full motion, you're here, push up, and to the sky. And don't forget to stretch before and after your workouts so that you don't injure yourself to hinder you don't want to hinder your fitness progress. One thing in my own fitness center I've noticed with my clients, I have a huge broad spectrum of clientele from high school all the way into their 80s. And one thing I've really noticed is that how young and youthful my older fitness enthusiasts are now. I can think of a handful on the top of my head that, they came in very, very slow, stiff, just very crippity and crepity, and they felt like they just felt their age. After a year or two of stretching, of strengthening and lengthening, seeing the chiropractor, all of this for their total well-being, they look amazing. They feel better than they've ever felt. I have one client, she's almost 80, and she actually had a bone density scan, and from last year, the doctor was like, wow, whatever you're doing, keep it up, because she started working out using resistance impact training that's helping her bones strengthen so that they don't get brittle and they don't break before they should. All of this is just to help your life become better. Fitness will do that. Great nutrition will do that. And seeing your regular healthcare providers and your chiropractors will definitely do that. My wish for everyone is that you have an awesome, healthy fitness new year, and that you keep that flame alive for the rest of your lives.
That was great. Not only can anyone do these exercises, but they really can be done anywhere. And these exercises you just learned are such an easy way to start yourself off to being active and fit. If you were thinking you needed a way to get started working out this year, well, there you have it. So no more excuses. Just get busy, stay active, moving and fit, and years from now, you will see all the benefits from your effort. Now, however, we have a special story and a special guest. Dr. Fabrizio Mancini, president of Parker University, a chiropractic college, and an author of numerous books, is here with us today. His latest book, published through Hay House, is called The Power of Self-Healing. Living a life of health and vitality is a passion of Dr. Mancini, and not only for himself, but for the rest of the world. That is why he's here with us today, to help you better understand the power of self-healing. So if you're not well, this story is for you. And if you have been taking care of yourself, this is another reminder of your effort well spent. I know Dr. Mancini is anxious to share his message with you, so let's bring him on.
Have you ever wondered where health comes from? See, that is a question that all of us should be asking ourselves, because most of our belief systems about health have come from sources outside of ourselves. So what I want you to do in these next few minutes is truly listen to some of the things that we're going to be discussing about how the body heals. And you see, what I've learned over the last 25 years is that our bodies really heal from inside out. And right now, this journey that we call life is one that we realize that if we don't have and don't fulfill our health potential, we really will never fulfill our full life potential. So we're going to talk a little bit about this healthcare reform that we're having. You see, because right now we realize that the healthcare crisis in the United States and around the world is being caused because we're living in a different paradigm. We're living in a paradigm that tells us that health comes from outside in rather than inside out. And I realized that there could never be true healthcare reform until there is self-care reform. You see, because self-care is about you. It's about the choices that we're making every single day. And I want to talk to you a little bit about the 3 planes that the body stays healthy in. Because the first plane is the physical plane. And you see, in the physical plane, it's interesting because the most important thing that one can do is to actually have what I call healthy eating. When you have healthy eating, you have nutrients to the bodies where you can actually pick things like an apple. You know, an apple has fiber, and that also reduces any type of digestive problems that you may be having. We also have things like berries that are antioxidants, and that's going to help build our immune systems. And we also have things like avocado, which are like healthy fats, and that's going to decrease inflammation. But you see, I want you to understand that just our healthy foods are not enough. We must include some supplementation. And we got to have our vitamins and minerals. And we have to have the things that are going to help us perhaps reduce our blood pressures and increase our mental abilities to think for ourselves very well. The other thing that is very important in the physical plane is that we have to have what I call active healing. And that's the exercise that we have every single day. And there's 2 primarily purposes in exercise. Either you can do strength exercising, which is going to actually allow you to move our bodies and build our muscles and be toned as we get older. But also you can do aerobic exercises. And aerobic exercises is when you take a brief walk, or you can also be able to take a class, a Zumba class, and you can start dancing, or maybe do a little bit of yoga. Those are the things that are going to help us primarily. Now in nutrition, I want you to understand that there is what I call the anti-healers. And the anti-healers are primarily your sugars. We must reduce our sugars. See, every time that we take a soda, we're putting many teaspoons of sugar into our system. And you know that the average American is consuming 150 bags of sugar a year. Imagine visualizing 150 bags in your garage. That's what most Americans are consuming. The other anti-healer is additives. See, a lot of times additives are put in our foods because we want it to taste better, or we want it to last longer in our shelves, in the grocery stores. And those are the things that are really hurting our systems because they toxify our system. Now, there's other things in the physical plane that are really helpful, and that's what I call the new healing arts. And my favorite new healing arts is what I call the new chiropractic. See, the profession of chiropractic, which is what I am, a doctor of chiropractic, has been around for 116 years. And the reason that I got excited about it is because you see, the premise of chiropractic is that we recognize that the body can heal itself, that the nervous system, the brain, the spinal cord, all the nerves are the ones that supply all the other systems of the body. And most importantly, that the body has a universal intelligence that we can tap into, and it's innate intelligence in our body, and that's what helps us heal on a regular basis. These are the things that I want you to understand why I chose to be a chiropractor, and why millions of patients every single day tell us that by removing subluxations, which is these interferences of the body, the communication system between the brain and the body every single day, is what allowing them to have more energy, to sleep better, to be more productive in the workplace, to be able to develop and grow older without having all these chronic illnesses that many of our parents and grandparents are suffering from. The other component of healing is about our thoughts and emotions. You see, there's plenty of evidence right now that says that if you're thinking negatively, most likely that illness, that disease that you're going through right now is going to impact your body longer and more worse than what it is right now. It's going to create pain in your life. So a positive attitude, an attitude of optimism is what I want you to be thinking about. I also want you to pay attention to the emotions that heal. See, there's 3 emotions that I call the healing triad. And the healing triad is one that actually talks about having gratitude for what you do have, for the health that you do have, and for the things around your life, whether it's the people in your life or the body that you've been given, regardless of what it is, be thankful for it. The other one is forgiveness. We must forgive ourselves and we must forgive our past. See, there's many evidence right now that shows that many of the feelings of resentment, the feelings of anger, the feelings of hate is what's causing a lot of our illnesses today. So I want you to release those emotions. And most importantly, I want you to recognize the most powerful emotion that heals, and that's love. And it's the kind of love that I call unconditional love, that is true acceptance of yourself for who you are right now, and for the people around you for who they are. I also want to talk to you a little bit about the healing spirit, because you see, there's plenty of evidence that shows that the people that are believers are the ones that are the healthiest. The people that go to church or synagogues or temples are the ones that get healthy from conditions that other people take longer to heal. So I want you to practice and exercise your healing spirit by getting and tapping into a source greater than yourself, and most importantly, the meaning of life for you, the purpose of life for you. The good news is the fact that you're sitting right now at your chiropractor's office. And that is the first step to take to actually self-heal. Because you see, this chiropractor is already removed the interferences within your body that are keeping you from being healthy. We call those subluxations. And then remember that the chiropractor is going to remind you that the power that made the body is what heals the body. And for more information, and as a step 2, I want you to consider reading this brand new book that is going to be available everywhere, called The Power of Self-Healing. Because in this book, we go over the details of everything that we just talked about today, and it's going to take you step by step into really addressing what is proper to eat and when to eat, and also the physical activities within your body that allow you to be successful and healthy. And most importantly, the spirituality that connects you with something greater to yourself and bring meaning into your life. So please join me in reading The Power of Self-Healing, which is going to give you the details that are going to allow you to fulfill your health potential. Because once you fulfill your health potential, you will honestly fulfill your life potential.
The Power of Self-Healing. That would surely be a book on my reading list, and I would highly recommend you to take a look at it as well. It should be available in your favorite bookstore or online, and will be a great inspirational reading to start your year off right. Well, thank you, Dr. Mancini, and for all our guests for taking the time from their busy schedules to show you what it takes to live healthier this year. And just as our guests took the time to share their knowledge and their passion with you, don't let it end here. Share the information you've learned on this month's show with the people that you come across in your life. By spreading the word, you may help someone else find the benefits of chiropractic for themselves and their loved ones, and with that, change their lives for the better. So on your way out, pick up a few of your doctor's cards and spread them around. Hand them to your family and friends and tell them about the benefits of chiropractic care. Meanwhile, if you have any questions on what you've seen on this month's show of Life Path, talk to your chiropractor. He or she is a great source of additional information that can help you in making healthy choices in your life. And as for our show, we've come to the end. So get out there and start living. Your health is in your hands, so make right choices. Live well and have an awesome new year.